Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Mondays with me, Kurt Glassell, and you have just entered the gem zone. That is glamour, elegance, money, and sex, and not necessarily in that order. So how are you guys doing this Monday in May, whichever Monday it may happen to be for you? For me, it's post Mother's Day Monday, and let me just say, yeah, that's what I want to say. Mostly because holidays. What is it that makes holidays good, bad, and ugly? Have you ever noticed? Holidays are either good, bad, or really friggin' ugly. And as I look upon it, I mean, for me, yesterday was an awesome Mother's Day, but over the many years, and my oldest son is 25 years old, over the many years, not only just Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, well, actually, Valentine's Day was always kind of fun, Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, I'm trying to think what other friends we have. I can't remember some of the other names of their holidays because I was raised in the Judeo-Christian religion, so I'm mostly familiar with that. But, there's this buildup. There's this this sort of buildup in energy and excitement and projections. Oh, yeah. And expectations. Oh, yeah. Then come the judgments. And the separations because of those judgments. So really and truly, the deal with holidays is that they are like little time bombs of unhappiness looking for a place to happen. If you're not willing to be aware that that is possible. Okay? So, and what can you do about it? I mean, I know, if you're a mother, you've had a fucking awful Mother's Day at least once in your life. Whether your kid got sick, whether your kid threw up at the table. I remember I was with some friends one time years ago, and literally we're having dinner, and the food just arrives, and swear to frickin' God, the kid is like 2.5 or something, the vomit stage. And so they opened their mouth, and like The Exorcist, like all this stuff just comes out of their mouth, just like all over the place. And everyone at the table, we had some older kids and about 4 adults, and we were all like in this like stop motion, like time stopped, and the vomit kept coming. And we were just like, none of us could talk. None of us said anything. We were like stopped in time. Have y'all ever had a moment like that? I mean, it's a family gathering, and then shit hits the fan. Oh my gosh. And we all felt so sorry for the mom. Thank God it wasn't me that time. And it was like, wow. And so we said nothing. I think she apologized profusely. We got extra napkins and cleaned up the table and everything. And then we carried on. And so what would it take for you to just have those ugly moments and carry on? What else is possible? What else is possible? What can you be and do different during those moments? Does it really help to get angry? The thing is, if you get angry during those moments of upset, it actually backfires on your body. This is what I have found when my children have either been like super late or they didn't call. I mean, I used to get really bothered by that stuff. And then I looked at what was really important to me, and I changed. I realized and recognized that my kids are not going to change. They're going to do what they're going to do. Now, I can be an allowance of them being who they are, or I can always get pissy and upset when they do things that I can't control. So let me ask you a question out there, guys. How fun is it to be the control mama of the world? Is it really that much fun? Are you having fun being disappointed all the time because things don't go your way? If you are, like I was, then there's hope. There's hope for control freak mama. Now, you don't have to give up total control, right? But what if every time things didn't go your way, you asked a question instead of going up into immediate upset? What if you asked the question, and this is going to piss you off, but I don't care, I'm going to say it anyway. What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about my children not showing up when I ask them to show up? What's right about this child throwing up in the middle of the lunch I'm not getting? I mean, now when I look back on it, it's actually kind of funny because kids are really not controllable. And do we really desire to have robot kids? Well, that's just food for thought for another time in another place. But what would you really like your special, quote, special day to be like? And I'm wondering if the projection of it being a special day is part of what makes everything go haywire. Like, what if every day was your Mother's Day? And what if you could be grateful for your kids and have gratitude for your kids when they're good, when they're bad, and when they're fucking ugly? Because everyone's ugly. And for me, what was hard for me is that I spent so much of my life thinking that people were good and not ugly, and refusing to look at the ugly, refusing to perceive the ugly, refusing to believe the ugly. Not my brightest move. And whether it was like a small jab or stab in the back, or whether it was like somebody literally vomited all over me, you know, with their point of view, or their judgment of me, which they thought was just a point of view. But, you know, if you're sitting with someone and they tell you, you know, you really need to lose about 10 pounds and then maybe you could get a boyfriend, that's really not a kind thing to say. You know, I had someone say that to me about 6 months ago. And I was so shocked and I was so upset for like 2 days. And I was like, I couldn't let go of it, and I couldn't let go of it. And I was like, fuck that guy, fuck that guy. And I couldn't even say that at first because I was so shocked that someone would actually say that to my face. You know, that had not happened, I think, since I was living with my parental units. He used to say stuff like that all the time. So it was really like, oh my God, I just was like shoved back in time into my abusive household. And I was so taken back that I couldn't say like, wow, thanks for sharing, asshole. You know, it took me like 3 days to get over it. At least it wasn't 3 months. At least it wasn't 3 years, you know. Thank God. But people are really mean and ugly. Please get this. So if you're having a holiday experience or desiring to plan for one, just be aware that someone somewhere might do something that isn't in your plans. And they may not, it may be beyond their control. It may be that they don't show up for your lunch because their car actually died and they were so busy trying to figure out how to fix it that they didn't have time to call you. It may be that their child got sick and they had to go to the hospital. It may be that they don't really give a shit about you and just didn't want to come and didn't want to tell you and just didn't show up. I mean, there's so many things that are possible. But what do? We always think the worst. We always get offended. Well, what if we didn't get offended? What if we chose to ask what's right about this we're not getting? What's right about this we're not getting? What's right about that guy saying those nasty things to me I'm not getting? Well, I finally recognized that I was paying too much attention to other people's point of view about me. Are you paying too much attention to other people's points of view about you and their projections and their expectations? And is it leading to causing you to separate and judge yourself? Well, if that is the case, my friend, you can choose different. You can choose not to give other people such great power and great control over you and your emotions. So la-di-da-di-da-da-da, that's my really fun, you know, cheery, you know, like cheerleading for the post Mother's Day celebration. And really it's something that we can take through our whole lives, because what if we're grateful for what does occur? What if we're grateful for the people that do show up for the party and we just ignore those who don't and move on? Because not everybody's going to like us. Not everybody's going to want to hang out with us. Some people will, some people won't. Crap gets in the way. People who are good, bad, and ugly. And that's the message of the day. So how do you cope and how do you live with good, bad, and ugly? You become aware. And that's your security for not being fucked up over people who do crazy shit. You be more aware. Recognize that everybody has a good side, a bad side, and a really ugly side. And don't expect really anything of people. You do your best, but then move on and have a good time yourself. Have a great time yourself. Do what works for you. And you know what? I mean, if you're going out and you're waiting for someone to show up and they don't show up, go to the restaurant. Don't wait at home. Just go. And write them a text and saying, hey, we couldn't leave. We had, our reservation is at 1. We had to go. Please join us if you can. And just move on and go. Just move on and go. And do what's good for you and what's fun. And have an awesome frickin' Monday. Okay, guys? So I'm grateful you listened. And I'd like to invite you to check out my Facebook Lives. I've done 8. I've done 8 in a row. Oh, my God. I've actually learned how to push most of the buttons. So please check it out. Check out my Facebook Live on my Facebook page, Glassell, of course. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.